What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Heel Hookers podcast, episode 185. We are back with, you guessed it, a classic. Everybody loves it. Good old UFC Apex event. Right?
Like a Diplo song.
I guess.
Hey, to be fair, though, for an Apex event, I feel like the combination of quality between the main event and the co-main event, we don't usually get.
That's true.
I mean, yeah.
But the rest of it's pretty Apexy.
Yes, 100%.
There's a good fight buried in the prelims that they're disrespecting, but we'll get into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the fact that we got 3 top 15 and a two top 5 fights. I think so.
I believe Ketlen is. Yeah, Ketlen is top 3. Macy's top 5.
So yeah, it's pretty damn incredible. But like you said, the disrespect, and also it's with both of those, they're both women's fights. So obviously you got to throw some little extra disrespect by the UFC on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But before we get into all that, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps out. We appreciate everyone that does. Let's go. Main event though. My girl, Erin Blanchfield, she is back, taking on my former girl, Maycee Barber. Initial thoughts of this 125-pound scrap between these two women for you guys.
Initial thoughts is that Macy is going to give Erin a tough time in the beginning, and because it's a 5-round fight and Erin keeps pushing, she's going to take over in the back half and win a decision.
More than likely. I definitely do it, yeah.
Yeah,
because
I can
it's
see
like,
that.
Has Macy ever been in a 5-round fight?
Don't believe
I
so.
feel like she's been scheduled for it.
I don't believe she's ever been scheduled for a main event.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, yeah, I was going to say her last 4, and that's obviously going to be her bigger ones. She hasn't been. She obviously can win decisions. She goes to them or whatever. But I just think that Erin is going to put a certain pressure on with the grappling that, by the end of it, it's going to have Macy tired. But in the beginning of the fight, Macy is definitely scrappy. She definitely has a dog in her. And if Erin hasn't worked on her striking at all and it's still going to be the same, I'm going to run into shots. It's going to be a rough, early half of the fight for her, Yeah. And depending on how much Macy can capitalize on it, maybe Erin won't be able to pick it up. But my thoughts are she might be able to, and, she'll win the back half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, I was right. She was scheduled for a 5-round main event, but she pulled out against Rose Namajunas, and that's when Tracy Cortez jumped in
right.
short notice. So I was right, but she's never competed in one. She was supposed to have one before this.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Then canceled. So, but yeah, no, I kind of agree. Like Erin an inch shorter, but with the 3-inch reach advantage, and I just think her all around his game is just good enough to beat Maycee Barber's. Especially considering the level of competition that they've kind of been fighting at. I think Erin has a couple higher level wins.
For sure.
In Jessica Andrade, Tyler Santos, and Rose Namajunas. So.
Yeah, the much better, because in already the best fighter that Maycee Barber has fought, in all honesty, especially just at the time that she fought them, is probably Amanda Hebos, honestly. Because Alexa Grasso back in 2021 was not I feel as good of a fighter that walked into the first championship fight with Valentina. You know what I mean?
And she still lost that. Macy.
Yeah. But so it's just she definitely has not fought the same level of competition. Has not gotten nearly as good of wins with Erin Blanchfield getting the Rose and Tyler wins. Obviously, both of them not the most impressive. You know what I mean? But it's Macy's having also not impressive wins against Kaylin Seminara and Andrea Lee, and you know what I mean.
And Miranda Maverick both going to splits that's rough.
Yeah, I and at the in 2021 against Miranda Maverick, definitely thought that she lost that fight, but got the nod on the judges' scorecards, which started off her 7-fight win streak, I believe now, or a 6-fight win streak.
Thanks.
So, she's definitely on a roll. She's definitely gotten a lot better since her 2 losses to Alexa Grasso and Roxanne Modafferi, for sure. Deserves to be towards the top of the division, but it's it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, especially again the win over Caitlin Seminara with like all things considered with her in 2024. You know what I mean? Like she was like at a point in the division the most winningest fighter and like easily the number like 2-3 fighter in there, but just not nearly near her peak when she fought Maycee Barber. So it's just another rough one with that. But yeah, it's like, because like you said, with, you know, obviously if Erin hasn't still really worked on her flaws and like the striking and just her ability to like just make the entries on her opponent, you know, to like just be effective, I do think that there is the potential that Maycee could possibly go out there, possibly land big enough shots throughout the first 2 rounds that like could potentially find herself a way to like a TKO or something like that. Erin is very tough, so I feel like that's not the most likely. So I do agree that it's like more probably 3 through 5. Erin's going to be able to just put on the pressure, keep it going, and you know what I mean, be able to get it done.
Yeah, but that's why I said like the chance that, you know, she does put on those big shots where it's just like Erin can't pick it up, or she does end up getting finished, just whatever it may be. But
it's because it's like, Maycee, you know, 9 wins in the UFC, 5 of them by decision. She does have 4 KO TKOs. So like she does like occasionally like against certain fighters is able to find those moments to like land the big shots, keep the pressure on, you know what I mean, and like overwhelm them. But I just don't think that at this point in Erin's career, like she's gonna get overwhelmed like that. And I'm very much just at the point with her where it's like I just want to see those improvements made, because it's like, you know, I know we've talked about it a lot like on the podcast and off, but it's like I really do think that it's like, with the loss to Manon Fiorot, it's just going to be that mobile style of being able to touch and go, not be able to fall into the takedowns and like the cage control, whatever. And that it's just going to give Erin all sorts of problems. But other than that, she should be able to get it done against these other women. But yes, I definitely can struggle with in like, especially the first couple of rounds. I would be pretty surprised if Erin Blanchfield is able to go out there and win like 49, 46, 50, 45. Like if she does, that would be like, okay, like Maycee's really got to fucking work on some shit. You know what I mean? But I do overall think that it should be a good, fun fight because both of them are tough. Both of them will go after it. So I just feel like that is going to make for a fun main event for this Apex card.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Hopefully, Erin Blanchfield's able to get that done, get herself back on a little streak, and that would be a 2-fight win streak after losing to Manon Fiorot. With the title picture, it's as long as Valentina's here, man, it's gonna kind of be hard, and just things are gonna take a while.
Valentina, and then even with Natalia Silva right there, you know, because it's like obviously she's up next, and not with it taking a while, but just being a problem. Because I know that's a different problem than you were about to bring up, because it's like, you know, obviously Zhang Weili wants her fight in there. Natalia Silva deserves to be next. So if they do both fights, it's like who knows how long that could actually take.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Once Natalia's in there, there's a lot to be worked on with everybody in the rankings to be able to get that belt from her, I think. And especially Erin just being like the young person that's like there to do it. God, even with the win over her, I'm just like, that's why I just like you. I want to see the improvement where you can actually have faith in her in certain fights, because I just no chance in hell.
Yeah. and that's why it's like after the loss to Manon, it's like I didn't like the Rose fight, because that's where it's like, okay, like she went out there and won, but like you didn't really show any real improvements. It's just that Rose wasn't able to keep the style up over 25 minutes, so you got it done. But now you're just still at the top of the division. So it's like, okay, one more win, now you're in the title talks, but like what have you fucking worked on in a year? You know what I mean? Like it's just such a hard position to be in. That's why it's like I wanted to just see that step back where it's like, just you took that loss to Manon, just fight someone in the back end of the top 10. You know what I mean? Just work your way back up. You're so young, you know, and that's where it's like, if
it's kind of thing though with the UFC is they don't really do that all the time, especially like unless it's like something extreme. Like if it was like a knockout loss for Erin, they might have thrown her back a little bit further than Rose Namajunas was, but because it was a decision, like they don't tend to do that, especially like fights where they're like fairly close, like you're showing you belong in this range, so we're going to keep you in this range. So
Yeah, and
Like if it was a
exactly.
lopsided decision, like where she got 50-45, 50-40 they definitely would have thrown her back, just like if it was a knockout or whatever. But
No, yeah, for sure. But exactly, and that's where it's like one of the things where it's like boxing just kind of can provide things better for fighters'
Yes.
careers than like MMA, because it's like, yeah, you take a loss like that, and it's like, okay, we clearly got to work on some things before we go back into a top fight. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. It's kind of one of those like awkward things where I do think boxing is better at developmental things than MMA. Like
For sure.
100%. Like there's just no doubt about that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, both of them just very similar in experience. 13-2 for Erin Blanchfield, 14-2 for Maycee Barber. Erin, like you said, the only one loss in the UFC coming to Manon Fiorot 2 fights ago. Maycee Barber had the 2 losses in a row, just years back at this point. But yeah, I just should be good. If Erin gets the win, do you think that if they do go to Valentina Zhang Weili for the next title fight at 125 pounds, just as like the super fight, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we get Natalia Silva versus Erin Blanchfield next? Because I feel like that would be really unless they went to Natalia versus Manon, which just doesn't seem likely.
It just all
I feel like that's the really only other fight that would make sense, like especially to the UFC.
It all depends on who the next fight is for the 125-pound belt. That's kind of like where everything is kind of like precarious right now. Like I do understand why like a lot of people say that it should be Zhang Weili fighting for the belt, because literally her only contender right now is Vieira, and no one wants to see that fight, so I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But if the UFC is not doing these champ versus champ fights and they want Zhang Weili to, vacate her title, she might not even want to do it at that point. So it's just kind of like,
I just don't know if they'll do that because there's just nothing going on at 115.
There isn't, but like,
I think I agree with Jimmy that I'm not sure, because I totally understand that obviously Dana's saying like, no, he doesn't want to do this, but I just feel like everyone loves Zhang Weili, so it's not like she's somebody that nobody cares about. So like there's that. But like you said, other than Virna, nobody deserves a title shot at 115. So I don't think they give a shit. But like to Natalia and Erin, I don't think they'll go to that. And the only reason why is because it's kind of in the same boat of like, if they go to Valentina and Natalia before they do Zhang, and Natalia wins, who does she have to fight? Because they're not going to put Manon in there. She just beat Alexa. Erin would be the person. Yeah. And now it would be a fresh matchup. But if they kill that off right there, who does Natalia defend against next? Maybe Jazz Davicius gets another win, and I'm pretty sure that would be a rematch because they fought I'm pretty sure it was Jasmine's debut. She lost to her. So I know it's years ago, and like there's that.
I feel like with that one, they would be able to market that as like, a repeat or revenge type situation, especially because it was way back then. And like Jasmine would more than likely fought someone like a Grasso, a Macy, or a Manon in that time. So it would you could budget to make it look really good at that point. Be like,
no, for sure. So, but what I'm saying is that it's not even a fresh matchup, though. As much as they could sell it as like, oh, the rematch of this, it's like, but that's only one other person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't think that they're gonna go and do that and kill off her first title defense, essentially. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I don't know who else they could put her in there against, but maybe they do some like I don't know, but I feel like they kind of just tell her like, listen, we're gonna get this out of the way, and then you get the title shot. You know what I mean? And I feel like she's going to be willing to do that because who else,
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah, so yeah, definitely have to see. It really is just going to all depend on what Valentina wants to do, and like if they decide to put Zhang in there. And then because even with like the double champ thing, it's like Dana said that it's like that you have to be active if you want to do that. You know what I mean? So it's like basically implying like the Volk shit. You know what I mean? Where it's like you got to be willing to defend possibly both of those multiple times. You know what I mean? Like and just fucking cook. And so that's where it's like with no one being at 115, it's like like okay, who are they holding up other than Virna, which they've already done for over a year at this point. So it's like I don't think they really care. But
exactly.
But yeah. So very solid fight for 125 pounds in the main event. Going on to the motherfucking co-main. Absolutely wild matchmaking. We have been calling, and I know me especially, Ludovic Klien, our fucking boy, he needs his shot at the top 15, 7-fight unbeaten streak, 6 wins and 1 draw in there, has just been getting real solid wins. It's just funny, like, it's always one of those things where it's like, obviously certain fighters and like certain points of their career of like when they get matched up and stuff, but it's like you go back to like the last 4 wins in a row for Ludovic Klien, and the most impressive one is the furthest away in Ignacio Bahamondes. But then it's like, gets a first round finish over AJ Cunningham afterwards, and then 2 UDs over Thiago Moises, Roosevelt Roberts. Had the majority draw with Jai Herbert, and then wins over Mason Jones and Devontae Smith before that. Just been on an extremely solid streak at 155 pounds. One of those things where no matter who you're fighting, it's just hard to be that consistent that many fights in a row in that division. You know, it's And so, it's like, all right, let's get him against the fucking Benoit St. Detroit. You know what I mean? Let's get him against the fucking Grant Dawson.
Even like a Fazeev. So, like, that's a bit higher than what we're thinking, but, someone like that.
But at least in the area of 11 to 15.
And it's like, that's going to be a banger of a fight, 2 strikers, Like,
Now, let's strap a rocket to his back, send his ass to fight Polish man Mateusz Gamrot, ranked number 7.
Which, in all fairness, I do kind of understand, because nobody ever wants to fight Gamrot. It's always a struggle for him to get a fight. And the UFC doesn't give a single fuck about him. So it's just like, it does kind of make sense, all things considered. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, Gamrot just took a rough loss coming off of the fight against Dan Hooker. Ludovic Klien, like we said, a 7-fight unbeaten streak. So I'm really not surprised that out of everyone, Gamrot's the one to have to get the fight against a unranked guy that's a fucking monster of a striker.
The thing is, this matchup is so weird, too.
And
because I don't know if Ludovic Klien is going to be able to stuff the takedowns of Gamrot enough to be able to win this fight.
So that's where it's like, he has a very good takedown defense in the UFC.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's funny because like in the UFC he has a 91% takedown defense. But he also hasn't fought a grappler like Mateusz Gamrot.
Exactly.
So that's where it's like, how good is it? And it's truly gonna be tested.
Because it was Jai Herbert, I think, got 2 takedowns on him, and Nate Landwehr got 1 takedown, I believe. But it's just like, obviously those fights being, like a long time ago, and you know what I mean, just obviously getting better. It's just like, it's one of those things where it's like you said, he hasn't fought a grappler like that. So all we really know is that level of fighter at that point was able to take you down. So 2025 going into the biggest step up, the biggest fight of your career. How are you going to look like in your grappling defense against motherfucking Mateusz the Gamer Gamrot? Like,
especially considering Gamrot shoots 5.25 takedowns per 15 minutes.
Like it's a high rate that he fucking
is shooting
puts up.
Almost a little under 2 takedowns a round. So
he goes for it. He has been in multiple 5-round fights at this point. You know what I mean? Like, we know that he has the cardio to push and go. Obviously, this one is only 3. That's going to be interesting, honestly. I wonder. Gamrot not going to be able to grab singles and stuff as easy. Because the lead leg isn't right in front. It's interesting. How many fucking... Because, Benny's a southpaw?
I believe Benny is a southpaw. I think that's the only southpaw. No, RDA is also a southpaw.
Okay. He's also an old man, and he got fucked up in the beginning of that. Bro.
He did.
Yeah.
Yo, is this something that would... Does he struggle with the striking against southpaws?
I think he does.
Southpaw. I just confirmed that. Let's see what Guram is. Guram's orthodox. Okay.
But I think he can go back and forth though. Like, he will switch on, like, for sure. And now it's one of those things where it's like, that has me kind of wanting to look at like the fucking even like the Dan Hooker fight and seeing like how much if like he might have been switching or anything in that one. That's very interesting. Yeah, did not realize that at all or think about that. Yo, this might be a fucking Ludwig Klein knockout, honestly.
It could
Maybe
be.
he doesn't get the, like, he doesn't have, like, the most knockouts, especially, like,
I mean, Gamrot's hard to.
Hey, Gamrot is
He's
hard
never
to
been finished
finish.
before.
Yeah.
But he's tough as hell, so I don't
Yeah.
know about that. But he might beat him up for a couple rounds.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, man, this is gonna be.
I think the biggest thing is going to be don't blow your load in the first round trying to get him out of there, because all of a sudden now you're tired.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a good fight, because it's like fucking bro, Dan Hooker brought Gamrot into such a fun fight and had him going to war. So it's like Gamrot probably isn't gonna want to do that again. You know what I mean? Especially after him losing the fight to Dan Hooker in that fashion. But yeah, man, that's definitely gonna be interesting to see if Ludwig can just find that path to not get taken down, keep it on the feet, land the bigger shots, like just damage him and get enough done to get that decision. Bro, we get fucking Ludwig Klein in the top fucking 10 this year. That would be pretty damn crazy.
That would be nuts, amazing, and I would love, even though I think it won't happen because of circumstances, I would love to see him versus Kyoji.
Yeah, that probably doesn't happen, but I feel like what's very possible, Rafael Fiziev goes out there and Baku gets it done over Ignacio Bahamondes. You get Ludwig Klein, Rafael Fiziev right then and there. After that, like that would be the fucking fight to make.
About to say Moicano beats Dariush. You get Moicano versus Ludwig.
So like either way, it's like Ludwig Klein goes out there, gets a win over Mateusz Gamrot, obviously the biggest win of his career, gets himself into the top 10 officially, and then it's only going to be big fights from there at 155 pounds, especially with being a fun, exciting striker. You know the UFC is just going to book him into hard ass motherfucking fights. It's one of those things where it's like and it's like for Gamrot, this is kind of stay alive in the division. You know what I mean? Like
obviously he'll drop. He'll still be in the top 15. They're not going to drop him out of the ranks completely.
Yeah,
that would be insane. But then he's going to drop down to like below top 10. Probably take 11.
Yeah, he
quite honestly, I think him versus like either Grant Dawson, just because just to get Grant a fight, or if you want to try to pull him into another fun fight, him versus Chandler. Chandler will pull anyone into a fun fight.
Yeah, for sure. I really would like, especially if Gamrot takes the loss, I would like the Grant Dawson. That would just be a lot of good grappling. I would love to see that.
Oh yeah. Would it be the most casual friendly fight is what I was saying.
Oh god, no. It's because Gamrot's got to go out there, find the sub-minute knockout, or he's losing. You know what I mean?
Gamrot knockout in the UFC?
That's the only way Grant Dawson loses, brother. Sub-minute knockout.
Hey, he's got 3 of them.
How many in the UFC?
That's what I said. 3 in the UFC. 8 in total.
What? Scott Hot Sauce
Let's
Holtzman?
see. Leg injury.
3 decisions, 1 sub. Oh, I forgot about that.
The Diego Fajeda one was because of injury as well. It was a submission to strikes. If I remember right, he broke his ribs or something along those lines. So the only one is Scott Holtzman.
That's really funny.
That's really. It's also funny because that was the only one I could think of in my head. His only legit knockout.
Yeah, in the UFC. Obviously, he probably had legit ones in the regional.
That's really funny.
He's got 8 in total.
But that's the thing though. It's like literally fucking like a little over a year ago, dude's the backup for the fucking 155 title. You know what I mean? And it's like he goes out there and loses this fight. Now it's like, he's probably ranked number 12 fighting Michael Chandler or fighting Grant Dawson or something like that. You know what I mean? Like trying to prevent a 3-fight losing streak. So this is definitely a very big fight for Gamrot as well.
Yeah.
Like he really needs to get this one done. But
it's an interesting position if Gamrot does win, because you know what I mean? It just makes things awkward for him where he's going to be sitting. So
not going to lie. I feel like the winner of this fight should just fight the winner of Fiziev and Bahamondes.
That's fine. That's fair. I wouldn't be mad at that.
because I'd be totally fine with a Gamrot Bahamundes fight, and then it's like if Fiziev won, you get put them in the rematch because that was a bullshit fight the first time anyway. You know?
That, or it's if Ignacio wins, you get him against Gamrot. If Moicano wins, you get him versus Gamrot. Just kind of like play it that way, just so that way we don't have to necessarily do a rematch.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad one to go to, especially.
Yeah, but like with Fiziev, it's just awkward. You know what I mean? Because Fiziev, the only reason I don't want to do that is Gaethje, Mateus, Gaethje, and then he has the Bahamundes in between, and then Gamrot again. Like it.
No, yeah, I definitely get it. But yeah, 155. It's a Shark Tank of fucking monsters and opportunities, so you never know where people are gonna get lined up at. But yeah, should be a very fun fight. Going on down to the featured bout, nowhere near as meaningful of a fight as the first two, but I'm pretty interested to see how it plays out because we got Dustin Jacoby in there. I'm a big fan of him. My boy. He had a real rough one in the last one. You know what I mean?
No, he got the win over Vitor after.
Shit, I totally freaking forgot about that, honestly.
Yes. Real good knockout right across. You're talking about the punches and knee from Dominic Reyes.
Yeah.
I was there
I forgot that he got the win after that. Yeah, that was a rough one. But he did get the win over Vitor. But, you know, that's I
mean, he's on, in general, a rough streak at the moment. Yes, he has the 2 wins, but he's 2-4 in his last 6.
Yeah. It's the only finished loss, coming to Dom Reyes, but taking 3 decision losses. Yeah, he definitely needs this win for himself, for sure, to just try and put him back in a decent position.
Yeah, especially against a guy that's only 1-0 in the UFC. Like this.
Yeah.
And that's where, and that's also why I'm just pretty interested in as well. Because Bruno Lopez, like you said, 1-0 in the UFC, had a pretty solid win, looked good in it. Where it was like, okay, like this guy, you know, like let's see what he's able to do. Just a pretty big step up from going to because what was Godzi 1-0 before that?
1-0 against Brendan Ribeiro. Like he got the win over Jose Medina on Contender Series. Like
But so now going to Dustin Jacoby, just a very solid kickboxer, been a fucking in the UFC for a while now, so just like a very solid UFC vet. If he's able to go out there and just like get a knockout or like get a big win over Dustin Jacoby, dude's probably fighting in the top 15 next. Like I just feel like it's kind of like a random big step up for him now. You know what I mean? To like get a win like that. I feel like they're just trying to get that new blood, the little bit that they have at 205, just really into those positions, you know, just trying to get like those younger guys to like get the wins over the older guys in the division.
He's the guy that knocked out RoboCop in his pro debut.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Easily his best win.
That was what me and Jimmy were bullshitting about. Like, that was what got brought up when we were bullshitting while you were on your phone before the podcast.
All right, whatever.
Because I had to keep going, like, because he was like, "Oh, he knocked out RoboCop." I'm like, "Yeah, in his RoboCop's debut." Like,
hey, that's meaningful. That's big stuff right there. It don't matter. We seen what RoboCop became, and now look where Bruno Lopez is.
No,
it means something. But yeah,
that's
so
fair.
it definitely would just be a good win for him, just good for the division. You got fucking Omar Sy fighting Alonzo Menafield soon, you know, you just had fucking Xiaomin Yang fight Anthony Smith, so it's like we do have some of these like up and coming guys that are big punchers, big finishers, and just really trying to move into the division. So
I mean,
I do think that in like the next like year or two, 205 could be looking like a little bit overall a more fun spot like throughout the division than what it has been. Because obviously it's been extremely fun at the top for the last little bit with Poetan, but everything else has just been kind of dog shit. But I feel like we're getting just a much better general spread throughout the division.
No, yeah. If Bogdan beats Nikita Krylov, that fight could happen. If not, if that fight for some reason doesn't happen, I mean, Johnny Walker's had 2 canceled fights this year. You could easily see him jump into top right there to fight him, especially with all these other fights going on within the top 15. Johnny probably moving down just because of inactivity and other people moving up. So,
yeah. Because that's where it's like, like right now at 205, like in like the back end of it from like 11 to 15, it's like we got Azamat, Zhang Min Yang, and Bogdan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All like fairly new guys that like are just like fun and exciting to watch. And then it's like from 6 to 10, like Nikita's always fun. Dom Ray is on his comeback. Khalil's in there. Rakic, you know what I mean? And then obviously the top 5 has been. Yeah, Uzdemir, and then the top 5 has just been looking good. We got fucking Jamal Hill and Olberg in there now. Yuri's always fun. Poetan, Mago, it's division's in a pretty good spot right now. It's kind of crazy to see for how long it was real bad.
It's still not like at its peak. But
no, not at all.
I think that is a hard peak to reach, though. Like, to be fair, when you got John Jones, Rampage, Rashad Evans, DC.
Vitor Leoto, fucking so many fighters. Yeah, for sure. But should be a good fight. Someone's probably getting knocked out in that fight, honestly. So
like
winner probably is going to get themselves a performance bonus.
That's very likely outcome considering Bruno has 14 wins, 6 of them via knockout. Dustin 20 wins with 13 of them coming by knockout. But also, Bruno does have 5 submission wins. So can't be too comfortable with your ground and pound. You got to be careful with it. Otherwise, he had a couple triangles and arm triangles in there. And you got to be careful with them on the ground.
Gotcha. I mean, shit, honestly, that could even just be a path to victory you might look to use against Dustin. Just be like, fuck striking with this dude. Let me take him down and sub him. But
or something where their striking gets hurt, goes for the takedown, and then subs them. Something along those lines,
Exactly. Well, let's go. Should be a good scrap at 205. Next one, very sad mix-ups and switcheroonies that has happened. I was very excited to see Ramiz Brahimaj take on Oban Elliott. Yep. But that's no longer happening. Oban having visa issues, along with who is it? Soo Kyung Ko. Yes. So both of them are now going to fight each other on the Baku card. It was
yes.
And then their opponents are now fighting each other on this Apex card, and Ramiz Brahimaj and Billy Ray Goff.
I mean, at least both visa issues happen in the same division, so this could happen.
Same card and shit. So just very
6 years,
very funny circumstances.
6 years apart, otherwise virtually identical, basically same height, 5'10", basically same reach, 73 to 72.5. Gonna be a very interesting fight. I feel like it's just like one of those things where it's 3-3 versus 1-1. I haven't seen the most of Billy Ray Goff, and I don't exactly remember his.
Well, he seems to be a first round knock you out, or he's probably going to lose a decision. And Ramiz is first round sub you, or he's definitely losing a decision. He has a weird 3rd round finish from Max Griffin with the elbow ear injury. I don't know anything about that, but
I don't remember that one.
I do not remember that at all.
Yeah, so it's like, they're probably just
both of them are mainly first round finishers. They have a couple sprinkled in second rounds, whatever, but mainly first round. They go after it. One's more of a knockout guy, one's more of a sub guy. So wewe'll just see who gets it done in the first. Because otherwise, I have a feeling both of them are going to be very tired by the second half of round 2.
Just I really was just excited to see Oban versus Ramiz.
No, I agree.
It just it really does just suck losing that. But like you said, just
still going to be fun.
Yes. Gonna go after it, so that's all.
I'm gonna
that
take
really
Billy Ray
matters.
Goff in this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
None of obviously his one win isn't the most impressive either, but none of Ramiz's wins are impressive either. So
that's fair.
And I mean his losses aren't the greatest either, but it's one of those things where it's like Themba I can understand. Or McGee was older, but you go to a decision with him, he's crafty enough to win. And then the Max Griffin was weird. I do not remember this at all. What fight card was this on? That's why it was on the Santos Teixeira card. I barely remember this card. Back in 2020, so
hopefully it's just a good scrap. That's all we could really hope out of this one,
I do still think it will be.
Yeah. Also should be another fun fight. 185-pound bout between Zach Reese and Dusko. Yeah, this is gonna be sloppy, crazy. Zach Reese getting a first round knockout. Let's go.
Well, we have to remember that yet again, Zach Reese is another one of those guys that is back after getting knocked out in January. Azamat Bakoyev came in, ground and pound first round. Dusko also be getting knocked out though, so like who
I
knows?
was about to say.
I feel like because I
Like
definitely
Zachary probably should.
Yeah,
but
to your point, like Dusko definitely has the power and the ability where it's like if Zach is just dumb enough, he could easily get caught and get put out, you know. But I do think that it's like Dusko, he's just so easy to get knocked out at this point. He's probably gonna get it done.
No, yeah,
I agree. I think he should.
It's just weird with Dusko because
blast.
Knocked out by manslaughter, knocked out by cheating, knocked out by Mariano, but goes to a decision with RoboCop.
Yep.
MMA math never adds up, brother.
No. That is his one decision loss.
Yeah, it's
in his career. That's
crazy.
Insane.
The best fighter that he fucking lost to. Oh man, but yeah, it's someone's definitely getting fucked up. Let's go. Should be Zach Reese. All right, that is everything on the main card though. The rest, prelims. There's one thing that truly matters on this prelim card, and it should be on the main card because it's gonna be a fucking fun fight too.
That's where I don't understand the disrespect. It's like I do understand that women's bantamweight is just a shit division. Most of the time it sucks. There's not much life to it. But when you actually have a little bit of life and with fun fucking fighters, give them the spot.
Exactly.
Because
that's
it's like
how you have to like try and revive it. It's like you said, give them the fucking moment to shine and be like, look what this division can do.
Exactly, because it's like Macy Chiasson. She's 8-3 in the UFC. 5 of her wins come by finish.
Yeah,
like and she's fighting Ketlen Vieira, who she's only been knocked out one time, but she's really scrappy in there. She does more so go to decision, but she always like I said, she's scrappy, so she puts on that fun fight. But you mix it with Maycee, who is actually going for the finish. I feel like Maycee's going to get it done. Yeah, it's like her 2 losses. Before she was able to get her weight together, she missed weight and she got gillied by Rocky Pennington, not a bad loss. And then that weird up kick to the liver by Irene Aldana, which either way isn't a bad loss, and it was a fun fight. And
it's like either way, her loss is she got finished, so let's go.
Exactly. And that's what I was just gonna say. Oh, she has 3 losses. She lost a decision early on. Either way, it's like she is coming off of 2 back-to-back wins off of Pani Kianzad and Mayra Buena Silva, finishing both of them, opening up like the nastiest cut on Mayra's forehead.
Yep.
Why are they buried in the prelims? Ranked
crazy.
3 and 5 in the division. It's like if Maycee wins, she should easily be next in line for a title shot. What the fuck is she doing on the prelims of an Apex card when you have people like Ramiz and Billy Ray Goff and Zach Reese and Dusko on the main card? I get that the fights are going to be exciting, but so is this one, and they don't mean shit.
Those don't mean shit.
And it's like, this is the exact kind of fight where it's like, there isn't much life, there isn't much shit, but it's like when you think that, this could be a good fight and like maybe Maycee could have like a good win and a good performance, you put that shit in a fucking arena in front of fucking 18,000 fucking fans. She goes out there, puts on a vicious fucking performance, and has everyone going apeshit as she calls out, fuck the title shot. Neither of them should be in there. It should be fucking me versus Rocky because Rocky already beat Juliana's ass and I'm deserving of the title. Let's fucking go. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Just just like you let her fucking have that moment, and that builds a fucking moment to actually get fans excited. Because then when it's like, oh, now if like the winner of Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison happens, and now it's like they go to Maycee, and then it's like it's gonna get announced and be like, Macy Chiasson's in the title fight. What did she do? And now it's like, oh, you have to look it up, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess she finished these girls, but oh, okay, you know what I mean? But now you have that moment that's in your mind. It's like, yeah, I want to see her. They book it. Oh yeah, I remember when she fucked up her on that really fun card that the UFC had. Like it's so crazy. It's like. Yeah, I get you want to like maximize shit, but that's when it's like when there's nothing, like you gotta pump a little bit of life into it to try and make something happen. You know what I mean? Like
maybe do your job and be a fucking promoter. Actually promote something to be a thing. Like that's kind of what you're there to do.
Yeah. It's,
It is
but
like-
I get it. It's like at this point, it's the UFC is in full like just big corporate mode. You know what I mean? So it's like they
Yeah.
have the name, they have the value. It doesn't matter what the fuck they do. The fans are like they're gonna just make the money anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't matter. They can just reduce costs and everything as much as possible, and yeah. So
This is why you need regulations in sports from authorities. Won't happen because of who we voted in, but you know.
this is why we also need Don Davis to stop being a shithead and make a real promotion as a secondary.
No, yeah, I agree, but like that's kind of the
No,
thing. Like,
I know.
you kind of need both. It's a hand-in-hand thing with that.
Yes.
Like, you need both of those things. Like, sincerely, if somehow
And
Don
MMA,
Davis
like,
sees this, clip this part. Go ahead, someone clip out this part. If Don Davis somehow sees this, please hire fucking someone else to be the figurehead that goes out and actually promotes. You do a shit job. Stop it.
Yo, just let the three of us promote Dakota Decheva. You know
Shit,
what I mean?
why
Like,
not?
We'll
Yeah.
get people way more excited for anything they decide to do. Like just just any bullshit that they have to put together. Just give it to us and be like, okay, we'll package this for you. We'll get the message out there to try and excite people. You know?
Yeah, no, because like
It'll never happen. Let's go.
their promotional tactics are dog shit. Like, when they had the fight with Francis, that promotion was god awful.
They do the best they can, right?
That's the best they can. Then maybe Don Davis should just sell the promotion.
Yes. Next best fight on the prelims: Jordan Levitt, Kurt Halabout.
Oh, I don't think so. It could be, I guess. I'm excited for Alan Nascimento and Jeff Alfilo. I think that's going to be a real scrambly, good, just grappling match between them two.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully Nascimento makes it. He's been withdrawing from fights for the past 2 years. So
Yeah.
but because it's fight week, I think we're going to get it, and but I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is probably the next one. I had to scroll down too much. The prelims are pretty.
Yeah, they're not good. I think Gustafsson versus Giles could be a good fight.
Yeah,
I feel like
honestly, Palashioki and Markel Madero, someone's probably gonna get fucked up in that one too. Honestly, so
yeah,
I say that because like what
I don't know though.
7 losses in the UFC for Giles, and 3 of them are knockouts. I feel like 3 knockout losses. To Carlos. Hey, this will show if he's one of the fighters to be coming in this 170 division, or is this at middleweight?
Catchweight, short notice.
Okay, catchweight, short notice, 180. So it's probably supposed to be 170. Hey,
yeah, Gustafsson is supposed to fight Jeremiah Wells.
The 3 people who've knocked him out: DDP, Michael Morales, and Carlos Prates.
Aren't too bad. Aren't some bad losses.
I was about to say, those aren't bad losses, especially via knockout. All of them have power.
Yeah.
The other three of his other losses are all via guillotine by Gabriel Bonfim, GM3, and Zach Cummings.
Very nice.
Really
The
funny.
only one in the UFC to take him to decision, Mike Malott.
Beautiful, proper Mike Malott. But yeah, there ain't much on this prelim.
No.
So hopefully we just get some fun out of it. But yeah, definitely the top 2 fights on those prelims: Ketlen Vieira, Macy Chiasson, Alan Nascimento, and Jeff Alfilo are the ones to watch out for. And then just those fights on the main card should be good. But let's go. Other than that, we got a little bit of fight news to get into. First little thing bro, it's crazy that we're actually gonna get Volk versus fucking Yair too for Guadalajara, because just Mozart. Yeah, it's just like, bro, Yair has won one of his last 4 fights, and he's got finished in 2 of those.
Yep.
And his one win is over 37-year-old UFC debutant Patricio Pitbull. Which is like, obviously, it's Patricio, a legend, all that. So it's not
2 wins in his last 4.
Huh?
2 wins in his last 4.
2 wins in his last 4?
Pitbull and Josh Emmett.
I thought it was
No,
1 and 3.
it was Emmett, Alexander Volkanovski, Brian Ortega, and then Patricio Pitbull.
Gotcha. Okay, but either way,
But even
it's
then,
just
two
like,
old men.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know what the fuck they're doing there. It's so bad. Like it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
We should have just had him fight fucking Aaron Pico and just do Movzar and fucking Volk, because that's just the only and that's where, and honestly, like, just real quick too, because it's like the thing that I honestly hate about it the most is that Volk being able to get the title back was obviously just such a big thing in a big moment. It's just like, one thing about it though is that it's like, obviously it would have been more meaningful if he was able to get it back against the rightful champion and the person that took it from him in Ilya Topuria. Obviously he didn't have that opportunity, and getting it done against the next generation guy in Diego Lopes is still very impressive. But it just, like, he doesn't have that. And so now on this second fucking like run in historic, you're gonna give him bullshit title defenses that are just even gonna like delegitimize this run even further.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are... Oh my!
Especially when Volk said that he's gonna beat Diego, get his belt back, and then he wants to defend against Movzar in the summertime because he wants to beat the next guy, the right guy. Movzar obviously wants it. Volk wanted it, and they're just like, no, fuck Movzar. We're gonna give him debuting Aaron Pico, and you take Yair.
Yeah, wait till September to fight in Mexico and Guadalajara to fight Yair.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
When they could have just, hell, even headlined Guadalajara still with the title fight of Volk versus Movzar, and then co-main event Diego Lopes versus Yair Rodriguez.
That's what they should have done.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they really should have done. Like, all that beef at the press conference between Diego and Yair, and you're just gonna let that fight slip away.
Yeah, of course they are, because
especially when it makes sense with Diego losing in the title fight and Yair beating fucking Pitbull. Like,
makes all the sense in the world. If he wins there, he can get a title shot after that. I wouldn't mind that, because it would actually make a bit more sense. And also, at that point, then you can have Aaron Pico fight someone who I think would make a really fun fight in Arnold Allen.
Yeah, that'd be really good. And it's like, and then it's just because even for Movzar too, it's like they're really hoping that, like, they're giving him the toughest matchup for him. A fucking great wrestler in Aaron Pico that has dynamite in his hands. Like, they are obviously hoping that he goes out there, stuffs the takedown, and just goes and gets a knockout over Movzar.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, man, it fucking sucks. And it's like, I'm really just like at the point, just so, like, the fights that I feel like are just like the ones that most people want, and that, like, I'm just losing faith of just like that the UFC is just gonna be delivering on those and shit. So, you know, it's like, I don't know. It's like at this point, I'm fucking surprised that we're even getting fucking DDP Hamzat to fucking actually have that fight happen.
Yeah.
It's just like they just fuck up on so many goddamn things. Like, how the fuck they letting PFL go to fucking Africa first and do an event? You know what I mean?
No, yeah, exactly.
It's fucking crazy. I hate it so goddamn much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's UFC stuff. Hooray. Let's get into some actual confirmed fight news.
Yes.
Sadness continuation. Kyoji Horiguchi, the return. He is no longer returning on the date. He is out of his fight against Tagir Ulanbekov. That sucks. I'm very sad about that.
Yeah.
So Azamat Maxim, he now gets the shot against Tagir. I'm just like, that just sucks.
It does suck. We have any idea why Horiguchi withdrew, or they just withdrew?
He had an injury. I'm pretty sure it was something to do with like tearing something in his like like in his side somewhere. I seen his coach say that, like, you know, they let him rest for a couple days and seen if he could like train to push through it, but it was bad, and like he's gonna need weeks to recover.
Okay.
Damn. Oh yeah, that sucks. really was just excited to see him back, and it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, Tagir obviously not like the biggest name or anything, but it's like let him get his fucking toes back, like what back in the UFC, you know what I mean? Like it's just see where he's actually at. Don't have to give him a fucking number 1 ranked guy, so then he loses, and now it's like, oh well, now you know what I mean? Like give him someone that he can get back in there and look good against, potentially, and just see what he can actually do in the division.
Yeah, I think he gets an easy decision here, and then. After this, they'll probably give him another top 15 guy, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because that'll put him on a 4-fight winning streak in the division.
For
Tagir.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and for Tagir, yeah, I definitely feel like he should be able to get it done over Azamat.
Yeah.
That's yeah. But so yeah, just sucks.
It's torn cartilage in his rib, which takes about 6 to 8 weeks before you can really, from what his coach said, you can move without real bad pain. So
yeah,
there's just nothing that could have been done there.
Yeah, just one of them things. Next fight though, 135-pound contender fight. 2 top 15 opponents going after it. Lock Dog, Vinicius Oliveira. One of my honorable mentions on the draft. Let's go taking on Kyler Phillips. I'm very excited for this fight.
This fight is fun.
Yes, I think it's going to be very fun. I am not 100% sure on how this fight is going to play out, honestly.
Neither am I, because Kyler, if he keeps it on, if he keeps to the outside, does what he normally does, doesn't go for takedowns, he could easily, I feel like, win a decision. But like Vinicius is really good at closing that distance and being able to just strike when you're not expecting it. So it is very much going to be which style actually does win out the day in this fight.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, because it's like obviously the real rough loss for Kyler Phillips against Rob Font, you know what I mean? But it's like that fucking jab is just such a problem for so many fucking fighters, man. And it's like and Kyler just not.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, because I feel like that was just like, yeah, like it's on the feet, like, it's just anytime he tried to go in, it's like he's getting jabbed up, and then so he just starts going for the takedowns, and then just got fucking exhausted from doing the grappling, you know what I mean? But it's like I don't think he's gonna, like, obviously the power and the devastating, like, just spectacular striking from Vinicius is gonna be dangerous, but I feel like Kyler's movement is gonna be able to, like, his style is gonna be way more able to deal with something like that than just like that fucking hard-nosed jab right in your face every time you're coming in,
No, yeah, that's the thing I was gonna say. Like, thing with the takedowns they were doing against Rob Font is that's kind of like one way you're able to beat Rob Font is. He's not very good. His takedown defense isn't the greatest. He gets held down some of the time against certain opponents. Kyler Phillips is not the guy who's able to do that, so he was wasting a lot of energy doing something that he doesn't normally do. And he's not going to be doing that against Vinicius, who, if I remember, has a decent amount of subs. Like, not like a lot, but he has subs.
He has 2.
Okay. I didn't think that I didn't even remember. I just assumed that he was definitely more like knockouts, if anything.
No, I knew he was more knockouts,
but in the UFC, he has been showing to, he has 2 decisions, 1 knockout, and that one over Bernardo came in like the end of round 3.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that has to do with, because like looking at them, he has a lot of like earlier finishes. I wonder if he's kind of like collected his style, because all 3 of his losses do come by knockout, Vinicius. So I wonder if like he really just got his shit together, because 29 years old now, like, I have to fight like maybe a bit more patient. I have to be a bit smarter, whatever.
Yeah.
Especially being in the UFC. Or maybe just with him fighting like Ricky Simone and Said Nurmagomedov, just obviously tougher competition too. So I don't know. But with that, I just think it's good to show that even though he's not getting the finishes, he can still obviously win the decision over solid guys.
Yes.
I am interested in this fight for sure. Because I do think that Vinicius can get it done. Because I feel like Kyler's just going to be going for big shots. He likes to sometimes get flashy with things.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even that he's the most accurate with it. Like, I feel like he just wants to do it, maybe because if it does land, then he knows that it'll be clean. But I don't know. I think Vinicius is just going to be able to get the shit done.
Yeah,
no real feelings or reasons why, just feelings. Like,
I get that.
I
I feel like round 1 is just gonna be like just
the toughest round.
Not even that. I feel like
telling round.
Yes, exactly. Because if fucking Vinicius cannot land meaningful shots in round 1, done, he's losing the fight. Like, I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah.
But if he is able to get some, then I feel like that's going to set the foundation of like just giving Kyler the fits, not letting him be confident and not like just continuously making all the right moves and right steps. You know what I mean? It's like, and I feel like it'll just be a downhill trend where it's like either Vinicius gets like just the decision win, or possibly like Bernardo Sopaj finds the later knockout. You know what I mean? Because yeah, it's not like Kyler's not like tough or anything, but he's not down for a war. Like, he's not looking for that. So it's like, I feel like Vinicius can put on the shots and pressure to be him like, oh fuck, like I gotta watch out. And if you see fucking Kyler resort to the grappling at all, signed, sealed, delivered, Vinicius won that fight. Like, oh man. But yeah, so just very good fight for the bottom half of the top 15. Just can't wait to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Next one. Our girl, she's fucking back. Carli Judy's taking on Nicolle Caliari. I don't really remember Nicolle that much.
Okay, well, the main thing about this fight for me about these two,
yes,
both of them get finishes. Carli only first round. She has 4 first round knockouts. That's it. She's lost 2 split decisions. You have Nicolle with 5 KOs, 3 subs, no decision wins, 2 decision losses. She's been subbed 1 time.
And her last decision was also a split decision loss.
Yes, mainly first round finishes for her as well. A couple sprinkled round 2s, but I'm interested because it's like they're gonna go after it for sure. That is both of their styles of like, I'm going for it. Neither of them have been knocked out. I don't know. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for this fight, and I just hope that Carli can get it done.
Yes,
it's.
I think they, 2 years younger, 4 inches taller, 6-inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, for Carli?
Yeah.
Yep. Fighting in her hometown.
Carli win. Done.
Oh yeah, I forgot this is Louisiana, right?
Yeah. This is the Louisiana card. So it's got like everything going her way.
About to knock the shit out of her, huh?
Well, one thing with that hometown thing too, especially just a younger fighter, not like the most experienced, that could be so much fucking pressure on her of like even down to the little things that so many fighters talk about all the time, where how many motherfuckers are going to be blowing her ass up fight week of like, hey, can I get tickets? Hey, can I get tickets? Hey, can I get tickets? And just, it's one of those things. You're in your home state, hometown, whatever. Like, so many people are going to be on you. It's like, just, it's way more that fighters end up having to manage for like a fight than if you're even like just on the road anywhere. Like, it is like, that is definitely something that like, to just possibly be like, hey, like, especially as a younger fighter, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully she can, things don't get too out of control for her. Cause I will say that it's like any like content I've ever taken in from her, just seeing her talk, whatever, she seems like a very calm, cool, collected person. She doesn't seem like these fights or the losses or like just the pressure of the UFC is getting to her. She just seems like a very composed person that I hope that can carry through in her home state,
For sure. Yeah. It's because that's where it's just like, I feel like fighting, because I mean, in sports in general, just like, I feel like people like, I don't know, like say like hometown advantage, but it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's just like there's always just like that extra pressure and everything to it.
It kind of depends.
That's why just with her like seeming like more composed than some people might even just in other situations, like I'm just hoping that it carries through,
Yeah.
And that she takes it more of like the motivator rather than the pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, no, because like Derek Lewis is what, like 0-12 in his hometown or whatever? I don't know the actual, but anytime he's in Texas, he loses.
Bro said 0-12. That's disrespectful.
It's not good. It's not great. I'm pretty sure he's got knocked out his last 3 fights in Texas.
Yeah, I know it's not great. I'm aware, but the only thing that always worries me about Carli fights is just her inexperience going into things. Because, 4-2, she's only had 6 professional fights. Her fights leading into her Contender Series fights, not against great people by any fucking means. All not positive fighters, and then she ended up losing to someone that's 4-0, 8-3 split decisions. But obviously with the great win, the knockout over Eunice, who was 6-0, but it's like, Nicolle coming in, she is 8-3. It's just, that will always worry me a little bit of her just being here too early.
Yes.
But I hope she can get it done for sure.
100%. Let's go. This next one, very sad. I cursed it.
You did.
You fucked you.
I fucked me. Yasmin Lucindo. She's fighting Angie Hill. We were just bullshitting one day, and I was just being all real sad about my draft. And Kate was just like, "Nah, Yasmin's gonna get the win in her next one." I was like, "She's getting booked against Angie Hill, and she's gonna lose." August 9th.
August
9th. God damn it. She should be able to win, honestly. But this could definitely be very rough.
Yes.
Do you want to know what I actually think is going to happen?
Before?
I think Angie should win, and she's going to lose a split decision. And I genuinely, I don't want to say that. I feel bad. She finally won a split decision in her last fight. Good for her. But Yasmin is definitely somebody that she'll do a lot of moving and I feel like towards the back half she might look like she's doing more, even if maybe she's not landing or it's not as effective, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I just could see this looking closer than it should be, and us being like, bro, Angie won that, and then it just split to Lucindo, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, no, that's just
Angie's thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know she's talked about it and she is trying to work on it, but it's even just going to the Ketlen one, she did win that split, but it still went to a split, and it's I know she's still performing and she's doing her thing. She's fucking 40 years old, but it's when is that age gonna hit? And when is she just she finally realized, oh, I don't look like I'm doing enough, but is it too late?
Is it possible for Angela Hill to get a submission? 3 of Lucindo's losses are via submission.
That would be so funny.
I don't
think so though. Angie finally just got her first submission win in her career. It was over Luana Pinheiro, so good for her. But that, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, I could definitely see Angie getting the win, just doing enough on the feet, defending takedowns, whatever, you know what I mean, getting it done easily, like you said too, of just it should be her, but she just ends up losing. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Yasmin is able to grab takedowns or just even get cage control time and ends up winning because of that. It's
and she has to win.
Yeah, she has to. 14-14. Let's go.
50-50. We need it.
Yes. Sad that has to be off the back of one of my draft fighters, but it is what it is. Next fight, we got the rebooking between Volk and Adolfo Bellato. June 14th. I guess Bellato is all cleared up of his herpes, and so he's ready to go.
So crazy the way he said it. I know for a fact it had to be a cold sore. Ain't no way this man just out here saying, I never thought herpes would take me on. He had fucking genital herpes or some shit.
He found his way to cement himself into MMA lore forever. And that is,
where is this fight?
Forever live. June 14th.
Where? Okay, it's in Atlanta. Cool.
Nice.
Keep him out of Vegas. Apparently he can't contain himself when he's in Vegas, out here getting herpes and shit.
I don't think Atlanta's better. I'm just gonna say.
The only reason I say I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I guess I'll say the quiet part out loud. Brothels are legal in Las Vegas. They're not in Atlanta.
Doesn't stop it from happening.
It doesn't stop it, but make it easier access.
We got that fight. Should be good. Let's go. This next one I'm actually pretty excited for. Myktybek Ordubai. He is back taking on Tofiq Musayev, making his UFC debut. Baku, June 21st. Let's fucking go. That should be a very solid scrap at 155 pounds.
Hell yeah.
Tough fight for Tofiq making his UFC debut against fucking Myktybek Ordubai, but
it's also tough for Myktybek.
Oh yeah,
it's not you know what I mean. He's 2-1 in the UFC, so it's not like he's been around and fought the craziest of people. He's been through some rough fights, and it's Tofiq is getting older at 35, but he is a monster.
I didn't realize he was 35. Holy shit.
35, 6 months, 6 days.
It's he has 3 decisions in his career. 2 wins, 1 loss, but otherwise 18 knockout wins, 1 loss, 2 submission wins, 3 losses. It's this could be rough for fucking Myktybek. He's never been finished, but definitely saw him take damage in that Rebecca fight.
For sure. But it should be a very good scrap. Definitely excited for that, and just I like I said, did not realize that Tofiq was that old, but That definitely sucks that he at 35 getting his shot in the UFC, but still happy to see him here.
Yeah,
I cannot wait.
Let's
for this
go.
card.
definitely going to be fun.
Yes. And then the last fight to bring up, main event for August 9th. Roman Dolidze taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Let's fucking go. Sucks that Fluffy doesn't get himself a bigger opportunity in this middleweight division, but glad to just see him in another main event, just getting active, just hopefully just keeping the wins and stuff going. That's all you can really hope for.
The people above him, it's really jammed. You know, Jared coming off of a loss. Who knows where Whitaker stands at the moment? You know, Izzy, Hamzat, Sean, Nasruddin, and then obviously Kaio. And Kaio did call for that, but they decided to go for Roman. 180
fighting RDR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fighting RDR. No idea what's going on.
I thought he had something, and I just couldn't fucking put my finger on it. But either way, things are just kind of booked up there. So I'm not surprised they did this, but I am happy that, like you said, just gets to stay active. I think that he can get himself like a solid win here, honestly.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely think that he should be able to get it done. Roman is not like he's a very like solid guy at 185, but he's nothing too crazy.
6 years older at 37. He has a 1-inch range advantage. So.
Yeah, like I just feel like Fluffy's gonna just put on a pace that Roman's not gonna be able to hang with. That's like I'm not entirely sure if Fluffy's gonna be able to find a sub out there, but
Roman never finished.
Yeah, like
would be interesting if he could.
Yeah, like that would be extremely good for him, but I do feel like he should just be able to like worst I feel like he fucking it's gonna be 48-47, you know, but like Fluffy should win this fight.
Yeah.
He should.
Let's go. That is all of the fight news. That is all of the things to talk about for this episode of the podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will catch you hopefully on a very fun review to this fight card. Let's go. Peace out, everyone.